support an amendment that makes that right dependent on someone's zip code.
So that is a change, Heidi, of course, from Joe Biden, beginning in 1976, when the Hyde Amendment first came to pass, and again and again and again voting to uphold the Hyde Amendment until last night. And in fact, when your reporting came out 2 days ago, it contained, again from the campaign, an affirmation of his support for the Hyde Amendment.
It was a really stunning turn of events, Willie, because in my research, I saw that Biden not only went along to get along on this vote like a lot of other senators who said, hey, we can't pass our spending bills unless we agree to this because the Republicans will never vote for it. No, Biden's record was that he forcefully and very enthusiastically supported this amendment going back to its earliest days. I called them when I saw footage of an ACLU activist who seemed to get him to change his position. I thought that's big news. I called them. They thought about it for a while. I gave them plenty of time to think about it. They got back to me and they said, no, he still supports it. And of course, you saw what happened with the reaction to that by all of the presidential candidates, by all of the women's rights groups like Emily's List, like Planned Parenthood, who said, you know what, in this context, Joe Biden, you may have supported this your entire career, but we are in a moment here that we have not faced really since the inception of Roe with the unprecedented assault on abortion rights. And I think we don't know exactly what went through Biden's head, Willie. We do know from our own reporters, intrepid reporters Mike Memoli and Mariana Sotomayor on the ground, that this really happened last minute. Even his aides, 2 to 3 hours before his speech, said that they didn't know what he was going to do. He seemed to not be reading this from the teleprompter and actually really speaking from the heart. And if you listen to what he said there, this is at a moment of acknowledgement from Biden that, yes, we are in a unique moment where with all of these laws at the state level being passed and also Planned Parenthood funding being under siege, you're seeing the number of clinics going down in states like Missouri, where you may only have one clinic left, in Texas. And what's happening at the same time is that you're seeing an increase in maternal mortality rates. So let's be clear here. The Hyde Amendment affects only poor women, low-income poor women, because we're talking about Medicaid funding. He obviously made the calculation that in today's modern climate, I cannot continue to hold this position.
You know, this is interesting, and I've said this at the beginning of Biden's campaign. People were very concerned, wow, he's got a long history when it comes to crime, when it comes to bank regulations that's going to sneak up on him. And I've said his defense is always going to be, look, I grow. I could change my mind. It's not changing your mind from age 40 to 42. And I think he's going to have the same Teflon feeling that Trump had. I think Democrats want him so bad because they believe he beat Trump that they're going to let him go. You know what? I changed my mind. I changed my mind. So the very thing that I think a lot of the other candidates are hoping for, that there's a lot of stuff for the last 30, 40 years going to stick, I think this is the first in-action example of how he can gracefully pivot and voters are going to give him a pass.
But does it also, Donny, look, as the Trump campaign has said, but others have said, that this is a cave to the left, that he's a devout Catholic. This is something he believes in his core. You know, he supported the Mexico City policy over the years, the Hyde Amendment, that in a period of 24 hours, he heard noise from the left and quickly changed his core.
I'm going to go on the theory that ordinarily he would get the FF, the flip-flop. I think once he's going to have the same thing Trump had, this weird, shiny halo, that people are going to let it slip off.
Yeah, but I think what's also going on, look, he's the front runner. And when you're the front runner, a lot of stuff comes with the front runner. It includes other candidates, either, you know, subtly, quietly, without using your name, pushing on you and saying, well, you've got a position that's not really tenable in the modern Democratic Party, which has moved to the left. So there's so much focus on him. And obviously the press also focuses on these, quote, flip-flops or changes in position. And they're not going to let him, quote, completely get away with it. So he's, you know, when you're the front runner, it comes with a lot of baggage, and it's not the easiest place to be.
It's also, Caddy K, the vice president has been challenged on not being